I'm beginning to understand to a deeper level that you can only control you. And I think that so often we just try to control the things that are outside of us, whether it be other people, whether it be external events, whether it be even our circumstances to an extent. But I think it's important to recognize that we don't have control over these things. The only thing that we have control over is ourselves. So it's really about letting go of control of all of those other things and leaving it up to God, leaving it up to having faith that what He has, the control that He has over the external, will align with what you want for yourself. And I think that so often it's so difficult for us to lose control of those things because it requires patience. It requires recognizing that you can make the internal change, but then you need to have the patience. You need to be able to wait for the external change to happen. So I'm really starting to understand that you can only control yourself. And I think that goes for being successful as well. I think that it's not possible for us to control how successful we are, but we can control whether or not we're putting ourselves in a position for success and whether or not we're putting ourselves in a position where success can be something that's possible. It's like the example I like to use is the lottery, in the sense that you can't control whether or not you're going to win the lottery or not, but you can control whether or not you buy a ticket. And honestly, I'm not saying that to promote gambling and anything like that, but I mean in the sense that you can't really get mad that you're not winning the lottery when you're not even buying a ticket. You can't get mad when you're not finding the success that you want, but you're not putting yourself in a position where that success is even possible. So it's really about almost controlling ourselves, controlling our actions, controlling our beliefs, and aligning that with where we want to be. Not in the sense of, oh, I want this thing, but in the sense that I have this thing. Feeling the gratitude for something that has not yet happened in the physical world. And I think that that alignment is what allows it to happen in the physical world. I think it's so important that we recognize that what we have in front of us, what we have in the physical world, is not all there is. It's about recognizing that we have the capability to have anything that we want. We have the capability to be anything that we want to be. Every moment is an opportunity for change, and every moment is a chance for you to be different, for you to be better, for you to be different, and for you to change. So it's really just about recognizing how much we can change and how much growth we do have as potential. And it's about recognizing that we can only control ourselves. We can only control what we do, not necessarily what other people, what happens to us outside of us. And I think that goes for so many different aspects of our lives. I think that even in social situations, we try to control what other people are going to do. But it's almost about letting go of that. It's about letting go and recognizing and seeing things for as they are. And seeing that I can't control what you're going to do. I'm going to have faith that you do the right thing. But ultimately, I have no control over that. So if you end up doing something that's opposed to what I believed or what I was hopeful for, then there's not really any point in getting mad because it's not something that was in your control. It's like, if it's in your control, then why are you getting angry about it? And if it's outside of your control, then why are you getting angry about it? Because if it's inside your control, then you have the capability of changing it to what you think you want it to be. And if it's outside of your control, then why would you also get angry? Because it's not something you couldn't have done anything about it. You did the best that you could. So it's almost about putting yourself in a position of having, putting yourself in a position of not desire, but in a position of fulfillment. And in doing so, we're almost allowing that fulfillment to come into our day-to-day lives. So I'm just starting to understand so much more that we really can't control anything that happens outside of us. We can influence what happens, but we can't control it. The only thing that we can control is ourselves. And when I say control ourselves, I don't necessarily just mean in our actions, but I mean that in our thoughts and our emotions as well. Because I think that so often we almost try to be a victim of our thoughts. We try to be a victim of our emotions. When in reality, I think it's something that we could change and something that we have the ability to control. In the sense that it's like, if you imagine something that you want to happen, then you start to smile. If you imagine something that you don't want to happen, if you imagine something sad, then you start to be sad. So it's really that imagination. It's about that seeing that positivity that then allows it to happen in your life. So I think it's kind of evidence that we can control our emotions. We can control what happens to, at least internally. And then it's about having enough faith that what you want externally to happen will align with what you already have given to yourself internally. It's about recognizing that in having the ability to control our emotions, we're then capable of feeling anything at any time. It's like the level at which you do anything is the level at which you do everything. You know, the emotions that you allow yourself to feel and the emotions that you want to feel, those are both possible at any given moment. So it's really about substantiating the emotions, substantiating the positivity, the love, the peace, the energy that you want, at least, or the energy that you hope for in the future. It's about substantiating that in the present moment and really feeling that in the present moment. And I think that will then allow the external circumstances to support that energy to come into your life. But not in the sense that you're controlling it, and not even in the sense that you're waiting for it to happen, but in the sense that you're already so content with what you have right here and right now that you don't necessarily need anything else to change. And I think that once you let go of the need for things to change, that's when they begin to change. It's like how, you know, at least this has happened to me in certain circumstances where I've needed something to happen so badly, I've wanted something to happen so badly that it didn't end up happening. But then once I let go of that need, once I get let go of that want, then it almost just begins to flow naturally. It just begins to happen naturally. So it's really about letting go of the need for your external circumstances to change and allowing what you want to happen internally to happen. And in doing so, and in letting go of the need for the external to change, that's what actually allows it to happen. But, you know, even in explaining this, it's a bit paradoxical because I'm explaining this in almost in the context of wanting your external should change, and I'm telling you that you should not want, or you should not rely on your external changing. So it's really not about, oh, I'm just letting go of the external so that I could get what I want externally, but it's about fully letting go of it in the sense that you're no longer living in reference to the external, but you're living in reference to the internal. You're allowing yourself to feel what you want to feel, and you're freeing yourself from the feelings that you don't necessarily align with. You're freeing yourself from the things that you don't want almost. And in doing so, and in having faith that God will work and God will align the external, obviously through prayer, supplication, all that stuff. But in doing so, we're almost just allowing that to happen in our daily lives. We're allowing the things that we want to come to us instead of trying to go after it. It's like the saying that what you chase, you runs away from you. It's like that, but it's almost that if we just allow ourselves to be still in the moment, if we allow ourselves to experience the positivity that we want in the present moment, the positivity that we want maybe in the future, if we allow ourselves to experience that in the present moment, then that's almost what allows the external world, that's what allows what we want to almost come towards us without needing to chase after it. So I'm really just starting to understand, you know, you can only control you can only control your emotions, your thoughts, and your actions as well. Obviously to an extent, because I know there are certain circumstances where you can't control those things. But it's just about recognizing that you can't control your first thought, but you can control your second and your third and everyone after that. So I think if we align ourselves, if we align our emotions and our thoughts and our attention towards not necessarily us wanting something, but us having something, then we're going to allow that thing to come into our lives, which aligns with one of my earlier videos that, you know, to desire is to not have. It's not about wanting a certain outcome, it's about having it. It's about existing not in a state of desire, but in a state of fulfillment. And in existing in that state, it's almost that everything else will start to align with that. So, you know, that's just what I had to say for this video. I think I've made a few videos that are similar in concept to this, but I don't think I ever truly went in depth on it. And I'm just starting to understand it a lot more. So, you know, I hope you took something from that. And I have a Bible verse that goes with the topic of this video pretty well. It's taken from Proverbs 3, verses 5-6, and it says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight." So it's really just about, you know, not trying to control your own path, but rather just allowing it to happen. It's like, last point. It's like going to sleep, in the sense that if you try to make yourself go to sleep, if you try to control whether or not you are sleeping or not, then you cannot go to sleep. But then almost if you just let go and you not pretend, but almost if you embody, if you exist in a state of sleeping without actually being asleep, then the sleep is what comes naturally to you. So I just think it's important that in everything that we want, everything that we desire, it's about not necessarily trying to control it, not necessarily trying to force yourself to sleep, but allowing yourself to sleep. So, yeah, that's all I have to say for this video. You know, I hope you took something from it. And yeah, thank you. Have a good day.